Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Rileigh Smirl.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
And I'm Taylor Smirl.
Well, welcome, sisters. Rileigh, not Taylor. Rileigh.
Only two of us. You had a 50.
There's only two of you, and I've already confused you. I can only see out of one eye currently. The other one has something in it that is yet to be identified.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Isn't it weird when you have something in your eye, you can't see it? Have you thought about that? Anyway,
Now I have.
Good news is, doesn't matter because we're podcasting.
There you go.
But Rileigh, you did a big girl thing today.
I did. I forgot about it until you just told me I did. I set up.
I did?
I set up.
I used the potty? Yeah, thanks, Sid. I don't want to talk about that.
No, I set up a checking and a savings account. Like a real deal big
Yay.
girl.
I'm so proud of you.
Hey, thanks.
Good job.
I didn't mean to confuse you, Taylor. I assume you already know how to set up a bank account.
I know how to set up a bank account and use the big girl potty.
Whoa.
I'm winning.
I will say though, it made me feel a little like a small child when we were leaving the bank and Dad had to go there with me, and we were talking about, you know, me being able to deposit my own checks now and stuff, and he was talking about all these things I had to do, like filling out deposit slips and what I had to go through, and I was like, listen, I don't know what any of that means. I was in the Young Bankers Club in 5th grade, and I learned how to fill out a check registry, and I learned about deposit slips and checks and balancing your account, but I have no idea how to do any of that now. It's been 7 years.
The Young Bankers Club?
Listen,
That's a thing.
at my elementary school, the local 5th third came down to the 5th graders once a week and taught us a new banking skill.
See,
At
you don't
the end
want
of
to
the
fall
year, we
for
were
that.
Certified young bankers.
You don't want to fall for that, Rileigh. What you got to do is take all your money and stuff it in your mattress so the government can't get it.
No.
Yes.
Sydney. No, guys. No.
I'm kidding. No, don't
Why
do
am I
that.
the only responsible one here?
We have bank accounts. I know how to.
have
I love
account.
paying taxes. Paying taxes is. I'm serious. This is my push for paying taxes is great. Pay your taxes.
Okay. I don't like paying taxes, but I do.
My favorite part I just had to share about my whole experience of setting up a bank account was when she asked me, where do you work? And I sat there for a second, and Dad was sitting there with me, and I expected him to help me out as I was trying to explain to this older woman that I am a podcaster and that is my current place of employment. And I was just like, the internet?
Not
What-
wrong.
what-
Not specific, but not wrong.
What did they write as your employer?
Podcast. She was like, oh, can you elaborate on that? I was like, I have a podcast with my sisters. She was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then she showed me the form that I had to check and certify I'd seen, and under employer, the little box that said podcast.
That's fair.
I work for my boss podcast.
I work for podcast.
Mr. Podcast. Well, I have to say, Rileigh, whatever Dad walked you through is probably obsolete, to be real.
Yeah.
I haven't deposited a check at the bank in probably like 3 or 4 years. There are apps for all of this. You don't need to keep a ledger. Probably can find an app
Yeah.
for that too.
Yeah,
I
Just saying.
I never write checks. I have to write checks as I'm the counselor of our medical honor society. Don't make fun of me.
Nerd.
And so I'm in charge of like the funds to like pay for our meetings and like food and like our new like when we induct new members. Anyway, the point is I have to write checks for that, and I don't ever write checks, and I always have to like look at it for a second and go, and I do this how? Oh, okay, that's right. It always takes me a minute to remember how to work with a check. You can handle it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
You just
asked me-
write out the money. You have to write it out.
She asked me if I wanted a small book of checks or a large book of checks after Dad insisted I need checks. And I was like, oh, small. And Dad was like, well, you never know. You might have a couple times where you're going to pull out that checkbook. I was like, I mean, I can't see myself writing anyone a check anytime in the near future.
I write a rent check. That's my only touch point. And even that, like, I started doing that with this new apartment I moved into like a year ago. Before that, like, my old landlord let me just like Venmo their rent every month,
Yeah.
which is great. Like no checks needed.
No checks.
But I do remember using like mom and dad writing checks at the grocery store, and that was not weird.
Yeah.
That I feel like if you did that now, like everybody would panic.
Get some looks.
What is this now?
This is a time traveler.
What do I do with this?
Just stare at you. This can't be real. What's
Oh,
your-
don't worry.
Where's the
I work
camera?
for
This is a
podcasts.
goof.
I know what I'm doing.
Just call my boss, Mrs. Podcast. She'll tell you all about it.
Good day.
Good day.
Did they give you a sucker before you left?
No, but the whole bowl was sitting right there. They
You
didn't
could
give me
probably
one.
take one. You open
Well, it
your
was
big
behi-
girl
it was-
bank account.
It was behind the counter. I think
Oh.
maybe they don't give it all the big girl suckers that open up bank accounts.
They always give Charlie a sucker.
Well, Sydney, is she a big girl setting up her bank account, or is she a big girl pee-peeing in the big girl potty for the
Yeah,
first
it's
time?
it's the latter.
No,
Okay.
The latter.
I don't. That's an important qualification for a bank. Do you really want to belong to a bank that keeps the suckers behind the counter? Because I know at Chase, if you just like need a little noontime pick me up, you walk by a Chase bank, you just swing right in there, you grab a sucker, they're right out front for anybody to take. And I've definitely done that, and I'm not ashamed. It's a life hack for those of you who need one.
For those of you who need a life hack to get suckers.
Just swoop into a Chase bank, like look like you have money and steal some suckers and leave. I don't know how you look like you have money. Like you like scratch your chin or something, or like be poised. But
Wear a monocle.
I have my emergency monocle for when I want free suckers.
Just look
Wear
like
your
out.
imaginary mustache.
the more you can look like Mr. Peanut, the better off you are.
A top hat, a cane,
Uh,
monocle.
like when I was in college,
so-
I had a map to all the places you get free food in New York City. Just on the sly. Like I could anybody that ever needs that guide, I got it.
Hey, you could probably sell that.
Yeah.
I think so.
So,
Work this one out.
mm,
I believe in you.
some people love money, but money is not necessarily the way to happiness. Sometimes love is of love. And
What?
Let's talk about heartthrobs. I don't know. I got nothing.
Well,
I was trying.
I was counting on you to work that one out. I was like, Sydney's done it before. She'll do it again.
No,
For some people, money is the number one heartthrob, but not for everybody. Is the thing you should have said.
Oh.
We'll
You're
go
welcome.
back, edit it out.
Yeah, just like you did last week. Just like you definitely did.
Like I definitely
Yeah,
did.
just
to
edit
save you
out
from
my
embarrassment.
bad one and put in Taylor's good one.
Definitely will be doing that.
So, Rileigh, you're the only active teen member of this podcast.
That is the whole basis of our podcast. Yes,
Are you okay with sharing your teen heartthrobs with the world?
I am because
They might be listening.
listen. If Joe Jonas is listening right now,
Still?
no, I'm just kidding.
After all this time?
No, listen. I feel comfortable sharing all my teen heartthrobs because I don't know if everyone has had this same experience, but I feel like the phase of your life where you experience having mad crushes on these teen heartthrobs is when you're like a preteen and an early teen, and then you transition out of that phase from being super obsessed with all your favorite teen heartthrobs and like tearing their pictures out of Tiger Beat and putting them on your wall, and you have crushes on real people, if that makes sense. Like, I know teen heartthrobs are real people, but like people in your actual life. Like that's when you make the transition from like imaginary faraway crushes on Cole Sprouse and Joe Jonas to actual real life people.
That makes sense. Like you're aware that you like people, but real people in your real life is still too much. So
Yeah.
it's just fictional people or
Yeah.
celebrity people. I get that.
So at
Yeah.
this point in my life, I wouldn't say I have any active teen heartthrobs, just because I feel like I'm out of that stage of my life.
It's also that, I think, that moment of realization that eventually you come to where you're like, you know what? Odds are.
I'm never gonna meet these people ever.
Yeah. I remember the moment that I realized, like, I'm probably never going to marry Prince William and be a princess. That's probably never going to happen.
I mean, it didn't.
Well, yeah, I know it did. And like now as an adult, like I'm glad because, you know, I married Justin and I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the moment where I thought, because like there was this moment, there was this time when I was real young where I was like, you know, we're about the same age. And I mean, you never know. Maybe
could happen.
I'll go study abroad in Oxford and we'll run into each other and then I'll be a princess.
You know, you would think that you could trust your family at least to help you not get your hopes up like that about your teen heartthrobs. But you know the one, no, listen, I have a transition here. You know the one person I could not trust with my teen heartthrobs, you and Justin.
That's
because
true.
you told me you had an autograph for me from Mitchell Musso, who was a teen heartthrob of mine, and I thought, this is it. He knows my name.
Yeah.
He's written it on a piece of paper. He's going to meet me. We're going to fall in love. And it was all a lie.
No, Justin did see Mitchell Musso, but he did not get his autograph. But
Instead,
he
autographed
did autograph
a piece of
paper with the name Mitchell Musso and give it to you.
And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like 99% positive Mitchell Musso wasn't even spelled correctly in the signature I got.
Taylor, who was your first teen heartthrob?
I don't know if I was a teen. Maybe it was a little younger. And this is like to be honest, most of I think the actual people I had crushes on throughout my youth were not real people. They were mainly animated. For the first one I can remember being like, I have weird feels, was Balto, the dog. The sled dog.
Balto, the sled dog?
I loved Balto. And then I think shortly after that, it was Simba. Now, granted, Simba was voiced by JTT, so that made some sense. But, yeah, I mean, I think I moved on to, like humanoids after that. They were still mainly animated, but it's a weird, confusing, like, you know, you're like 10 years old. And like, this sled dog, I don't know how to process this. He's so brave.
I mean, I guess I can't say too much because one of the earliest crushes I remember having was the fox from the animated Robin Hood.
Guys, what is wrong with you all?
No, not even. Fox was a fox. That is true.
He was so dashing.
So dashing.
You don't think so?
I have never once in my life, and maybe this makes me weird, no judgment, but like I've never once in my life had feels for an animated cartoon character.
You know,
really?
I feel like
animal.
To this day,
not even cartoon character, just a cartoon animal.
Well, to this day, the mistake I continually make in dating is that I keep going for chips, and the people that really the good people in the world, they're Dales. Someday I'll figure it out.
No, see,
you married one.
I did. I did. I think he has a shirt fairly similar to that. No, but let's be honest. The gadgets are who you got to go for.
You know what? I was just thinking that, actually. You're correct.
Yeah. Gadgets where it's at. No, I think, so you hit on one of the quintessential teen heartthrobs of our decade, which was Jonathan
Balto?
Taylor Thomas.
Oh.
Balto.
Yes. He was part wolf.
But JTT, everybody loved. I was not into JTT. I think, maybe, am I older than him? My perception of him is that he was younger than me.
I feel like I might be the same age. Well, now, were you more of a, oh, now I feel bad, the older brother on
Zachary Ty Bryant.
Were you more of a Zachary Ty Bryant fan?
I wasn't. I can't say I was really into any of the Home Improvement kiddos.
Well,
I'm going to solve this case. I'm going to figure out how old JTT is.
That was not my bag. I did love quintessential 90s teen heartthrob Devon Sawa. I did.
Oh,
I did love him.
JTT is 35.
How old?
He'll be 36 this year.
He's older than me.
Okay, wow.
Well, there you go.
Never
mind.
I'm still a younger lady for JTT. No, but Devon Sawa got better with age, too. Because, like, young Devon Sawa, that's cute. He was Casper, right?
Yeah.
Like, the real body of Casper. Devon Sawa in, like, Idle Hands and, like, SLC Punk when he was, like, all tweaked out and green-haired. Like, that was good Devon Sawa for me.
And I loved him in Now and Then.
Oh, that's right. That was a great movie.
That was a great movie. And then of course, I mean, we've talked about this I think before, but like I guess ultimate teen heartthrobs are usually like boy bands are a big one if you're into guys.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake. For me it was Joe McIntyre. Forever and always Joe McIntyre.
Justin Timberlake, like NSYNC was before me. And even when I was younger, I was in love with Justin Timberlake. And
really?
I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it as you all were having this discussion about people I'd never heard of before and movies I'd never heard of. I was wondering why they were teen heartthrobs if most of the time we liked them when we were ourselves weren't teens. And you know why? Because they were teens.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So you know what?
Did you just piece that together?
Yes. Like they're not heartthrobs to teens. They're teenaged heartthrobs to 11 and 12-year-old kids.
Yeah.
So, all right, there you go. Cracked it for you.
Now, some other shows that were loaded with teen heartthrobs. There were so many teen shows back then that were just like, they were just full of like, everybody had posters of these people on their walls. So you like think about Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
I was never personally like crazy about Zach Morris, even though I know he was everybody's, you know, he was the everybody's into guy. I don't know, All-American boy, whatever.
Like everybody loves Raymond, except everybody loves
Zach Morris and his giant cell phone, pretty much. And then I think Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, was the female equivalent of that.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never seen this show, and I don't know who these people are.
Do you think this is sad for you, Rileigh? Do you think that because if you remember, Zach Morris had a cardboard cutout stand-up of Kelly in his bedroom?
I mean, that's weird.
Do you think that like they sold those? Do you think there were people who had those?
Oh, they had to have.
Absolutely.
I mean, like when I was like 12, every friend of mine that had an older sister that was probably 15 or 16 had a cardboard cutout of Robert Pattinson or Taylor Lautner in their room because that was when Twilight came out. Like they had to have had those cardboard cutouts somewhere.
I had cardboard cutouts of C-3PO and R2-D2 in my room. Does that count? Is C-3PO a teen heartthrob? Help me. I don't know this.
I wouldn't classify C-3PO as a teen heartthrob.
No.
Does Luke Skywalker count as a teen heartthrob?
Oh, I think definitely Luke Skywalker does. Not so much our generation that we're talking about, but for the generation that, yeah.
First time I watched the first Star Wars movie, I can remember being like, hey, Luke Skywalker.
Wait, you watched the first Star Wars movie and you were like, hey about Luke when Han was just like right there. And
Han
Leia,
is like an adult male, like an adult man.
But it was Harrison Ford.
Okay, and I was like 13, and I was like, wow, Luke Skywalker looks like he's about 18, and Han Solo looks like he's about 20 years older than me.
But
yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I think
we're talking about teenage heartthrobs here.
Well, you're talking to somebody that had a crush on Balto, so my range is a little different than yours. All right.
I think you're right though, Tay. Princess Leia takes the day.
Oh yeah. I think that's the gadget in this situation. Why are we arguing over Luke or Han?
Princess Leia.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the same. If we want to talk about Zach or Kelly, I'm gonna vote for Jesse.
You always had a weakness for Jesse Spano.
Yes, Jesse Spano. First of all, that hair. I got a thing for that hair. Felicity. Carrie Russell, that hair.
Dad hair.
I love that hair.
I must say,
why don't you cut it all off?
That was a very sad episode for me.
I experienced something when I was about 12 or 13, and I feel like all of us have at one point experienced when it comes to teen heartthrobs, and that is realizing that they will probably never love you and never meet you.
Yeah.
Which was when I was about 12, and my dad convinced me when we were at the beach that when I would go to bed every night, the Jonas Brothers would come to our condo and party with all of the adults in our family, but they only came after I was asleep, and they all played Rock Band together. and I was in love with Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, and I cried to Mom one day because I realized Joe Jonas was never going to love me. He was never going to meet me.
Aww.
I feel like that is a feeling we all have at some point, where we cried because we realized Balto is never going to love us.
I think there was like, no, we laugh, but you're right. There was actually a moment in my life where I had to accept that Tuxedo Mask was never, ever going to be my boyfriend. And that was just the truth. And I just had to accept it. Yeah. And be okay with that.
I mean, don't ask me why, but for the longest time I felt in my life that I was so close to Cole Sprouse of Zack and Cody. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Not everyone liked that I knew at my school, like Dylan, because he was Cody, or he was Zack, and he was the cool one, but Cody was the nerdy one, the smart one. I was like, I love Cole Sprouse. And for some reason, I felt so close to him and felt like I was going to marry him one day.
Uh-huh.
And now, obviously, I'm not, because now he's Jughead Jones, and he's in love with Betty Cooper.
I mean, there's still time. You know, you're still young.
How old is he?
Like 21.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Just wait a bit. Just wait a while.
Just wait a few years and then I'll marry him.
Get a little older, maybe.
So, like, in 2 years when I'm 18?
Sure.
I'll marry Cole Sprouse?
I mean, are you asking my permission?
Like, will I? Yes.
We'll get a magic 8 ball and ask it.
Says probably.
You're just making... You don't have one.
It says, ask again later.
You're lying to our listeners. She doesn't have a magic 8 ball. I can see her. Oh, well, that is a sad moment. But I remember kind of what you're talking about. That feeling that, like, if you connected with an atypical teen idol, like not the one everybody else is going for,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like, somehow it gave you a better shot.
Yeah.
Like, I was never a Dawson girl. I was a Pacey girl all the way. Like, the dark horse in that competition. Like, you always think Dawson's the heartthrob because of the hair, because he had that haircut that every heartthrob had. It kind of like fell in his eyes when he turned different ways.
The swoopy hair.
Yeah. No, thank you. Give me Pacey. You know what? Actually, to this day, Joshua Jackson. Yes, please. Thank you.
I will say I can definitely connect to that. You feel like you have a better chance with the least popular one because with Zack and Cody, I was in love with Cody, and it seemed like everyone was all about Zack. And with, the Jonas Brothers, everyone loved Nick. Then I knew because he was the young one. He was all like quiet, and I was like, no, Joe Jonas is the cool bad boy of the Jonas Brothers. Give me Joe Jonas, who also was in love with Demi Lovato from Camp Rock.
So if you had lived back in like the 60s, you would have been like, Ringo, yes please.
No, I think Ringo is probably like Kevin Jonas. Right? Am I wrong? Because no one really remembers Kevin.
I think maybe what you're talking about more is like going for George, because he was the secret heartthrob.
Georgie Beetle?
Yes, Georgie Beetle.
Georgie
as
Beetle.
you used to call him, Georgie Beetle. As opposed to going for the obvious Paul or John.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that might be what you're referencing.
I can understand that.
It's essentially going for the drummer and not the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Dave Grohl? Is that what we're talking about? Because again,
I don't know if you all ever experienced this or not, but I feel like every TV show or movie has this with multiple teen heartthrobs. You have the teams. You know what I mean? Like in Gilmore Girls, for example, you have Dean and Jess and Logan, and you're either Team Jess or Team Logan or Team Dean. Usually it's not even the one that you think is best for the character in question. It's usually the one that you just think is the dreamiest.
I don't know who Logan is, but I understand your...
Like
I'm
in
only
Twilight, your team
like
Robert and team Edward and Team Jacob. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
I was always Team Edward and also Team Jess, and you know what? That's my current teen heartthrob, is young Milo, because Jess is my favorite character.
But Dean is such a solid, good guy.
But Jess,
he built her a car.
No, listen, and then told her he loved her, and she was like,
I'm only in season 3, so I can't really say much at this point.
Team Jess, all the way.
No, I think that's true.
I'm Team Rory learning how to stand on her own and deal with the crap and be an independent woman, honestly. Because if I'm doing better than fictional Rory Gilmore in life, and I'm not doing that great. I think she's gotta get some stuff figured out.
That too. But also, Jess is very dreamy. He's my current teen heartthrob.
I'm Team Luke. He's so grumpy.
We know this.
He's so grumpy and quirky.
I love how grumpy he is. I like the grumpy ones. You remember, we've talked about this before.
I like the grumpy ones. On like Radio Free Roscoe.
Oh.
So first of all, a lot of teen heartthrobs there, probably not as well known here in the States, but I bet in Canada these were some like classic teen heartthrobs, don't you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's it. To me, it always felt like that secret show that we watched, but it was clearly not just like.
Yeah.
Like it was a Canadian show. It made it over the borders. It must have been popular there.
And you've got like this secret radio show. So right away they have a secret radio show, Cool Kids, and they're all funny and smart and attractive and have varied talents. Now personally, I kind of went for, what was it? Smog,
Travis. Yep.
He was smart and odd, a little grumpy.
Yeah, I was all about Ray. I had and I think that was mine. Like it's not that popular of a show. Maybe you got a real world chance with this guy. Like it's just Canadian. Who knows? Who knows how big this is anywhere else?
Now we've been talking a lot about these teen heartthrobs who were on TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you all ever experienced this. Probably. But whenever there were teen heartthrobs that wrote music and were singers, I always imagined that the songs they had written were for me and only me. And I would always imagine going to their concert and, like, you know, that moment where you get pulled up on stage and they start serenading you with Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney. Because Jesse McCartney was my favorite singer teen heartthrob of the late 2000s. Yeah.
That was okay.
You ever had that dream where you get pulled up on stage at their concert in front of all those other teens and everyone's so jealous? And
I mean, I don't know, because I think the only musical artist that I felt that way about was Joe McIntyre, so I guess I probably did, but that was a long time ago. I don't know if there's been another no, but I don't think I ever envisioned being pulled up on stage and sung to.
I did.
Yeah.
By Jesse McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like angry punk music. That there were no love songs that I was hoping was written for me. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll go to their show and they'll spit on me and that'll be awesome. Like that was I never went through the dreamy phase there.
No, I didn't either. What I would envision was like
all over
after
me.
Like a Foo Fighters show, getting to just like touch Dave Grohl's shoulder because he was so sweaty. Just so sweaty.
What?
Yeah.
In a good way. Way.
I would love to like get a big sweaty hug from Andrew WK. Or maybe like a high five, but like he's so drenched in sweat you just get sprayed from like the runoff.
I just wanted Jesse McCartney with his blonde swoopy hair and his white leather jacket and his high top sneakers to pull me up on stage at a concert and say, Rileigh, this one's for you. And then debut Beautiful Soul, even though I'd already known it had been premiered.
Right.
And now he debuted it for the first time because it was written just for me and he wrote it while he was really looking at me.
Wow.
Now, I feel like there were a lot of movies that kind of, like the teen heartthrob character, especially for women, it featured like they're not going to be your teen heartthrob in the beginning, but then they're going to go through a dramatic makeover change to make them your teen heartthrob. I mean, and I guess for guys too, because like you look at like your Can't Buy Me Loves, like Patrick Dempsey by the end is like, you know, the birth of McDreamy. Yeah. There it is. But I mean, the same thing, like I remember one of the first that I thought that about was the movie She's Out of Control with Tony Danza as the dad. I was not into Tony Danza. This is not my confession that I love Tony Danza. But when the she of title, the titular character,
the one who is out of control,
when she first walks down the stairs after she has her makeover, because her dad goes out of town and her dad's girlfriend gives him this big makeover. gives it a big makeover. And anyway, she's got like this huge perm, and she's got her braces off, and she's wearing like this little white eyelet outfit thing. And I just remember being like, oh my God, that's the epitome of beauty on earth. She is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And like, I still like to this day, I can picture that scene in my head as like, that is, I have not seen true beauty until this night.
well, that's like the there she goes moment, and she's all that.
Yeah, I think that's another really good example of that too. That this idea that like there's going to be, I mean, I guess the same thing happens like even as far as Grease.
Like when Sandy walks out in her black leather pants.
Yeah,
and her perm.
The tell me about it stud moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I can see that. I also think, and this is an old movie. There you go, Rileigh, for knowing her stuff. I watched 10 Things I Hate About You for the first time last night.
This is an old movie.
I know. Well, like 90s movie.
For you old people.
No, but like in it, you have like Joey is his name, right? Who you think is like the teen heartthrob who models and who's super cool. But then you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's like this little tiny adorable, like Cameron, who you love and you want to date, and then he ends up with Bianca, and you're so happy.
I do love me some Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He was also in a movie Brick that I bet you've never seen.
No.
It was like, Taylor, have you seen this?
I don't think I have actually.
You need to. It's like this teen noir movie. It's all like, you know, detective-y kind of old noir stuff. But he's so great in it, and he is just a cutie pie, isn't he?
He is. I love me.
And that kid can dance. I saw him on SNL, and he can dance.
That kid can dance.
He's not a kid. He's like a grown-up, but
like
you know
he's
what
like
I mean.
an adult.
Yeah, I don't think anyone for me personally will ever best, and I've talked about him before. I'm going to talk about him again. Ryder Strong. I don't think that there's a heartthrobbier teen. Even that name, Ryder Strong.
Is that fake?
Did I dream him into existence?
I think that's his name. You know, I've never looked. If it's, you know what? Please don't tell me. Internet, everyone listening, I never want to know. If his real name is not Ryder Strong, I don't ever want to know anything but that.
No,
Please don't tell me the truth.
His real name is like Chris Jenkins or something. It's just not Ryder Strong. No offense to any Chris Jenkins listening. It's a great name. It's just not Ryder Strong.
Hey, I want to make your day, Sydney. His real name is Ryder Strong. Ryder King
God.
Strong.
Ryder what?
King Strong.
Ryder King Strong?
Yes.
Even better than we knew. Wow.
He was destined for greatness from the beginning.
He was set up with that name. I mean, even like, and it's not like some of these teen heartthrobs where you look at them now, I'm like, whoa, like the 90s were good to you. The aughts were unforgiving. Like him and like Cabin Fever, still great, still super hot. Like, kind of crazy, and like that movie's bizarre, which somehow makes him even more attractive by it. But yeah.
Well, and some of them got better, because you look at somebody like Will Smith, you know, teen heartthrob from Fresh Prince, definitely. But then Independence Day Will Smith, hello. Hello.
I will say, I'm thinking about some movies that would be maybe even be like before your all's time that I watch, and it's like all the teens that are in them or younger people that are in them are like actual adults now, like our parents' ages almost. And I'm thinking of like all the boys from The Outsiders, like young Rob Lowe.
Oh, definitely young Rob Lowe.
I love
young Rob Lowe, old Rob Lowe, like I don't know. Forever
I was gonna say
Lowe.
The Outsiders Rob Lowe and Parks and Rec Rob Lowe, both of them I love.
I don't know what kind of deal with the devil Rob Lowe made to look like that forever.
But he's always looked like that forever and always.
He always looks the same, and I mean, and it's beautiful.
Taylor,
Sorry.
what star is it that's like old, not old now, but like an adult now, but you loved him when he was young? Oh shoot, I can't think of his name. I almost said Christopher Walken. I know it's not Christopher Walken.
Young Christopher Walken. Wait, are we talking about Steve Buscemi?
Yes.
Of course we are. Thank you. Steve Buscemi, my ultimate heartthrob. What am I thinking? Ryder Strong, forget you. Steve Buscemi. I went all wrong there. No.
I was going to say, I thought he was your favorite.
I've won drinks on this where I'm like, you will buy me a beer if I can prove to you that Steve Buscemi was super hot when he was young. I'm like, no way. And then you look up young Steve Buscemi, and yeah, buy me a beer.
Really? I have never seen any pictures of young Steve Buscemi.
There's a dress that has young Steve Buscemi on it that I want to buy too.
And I mean, not to like hate on old Steve Buscemi. All Steve Buscemi's I accept, but I don't think people understand how
all
attractive.
Steve Buscemi's I accept.
All Steve Buscemi's. Give me your poor, your tired, your huddled masses of any Steve Buscemi.
What about young Paul Rudd?
Paul Rudd doesn't age.
Like from Clueless.
From Clueless.
He
Yeah,
still
that's
looks
true.
the same.
He still looks great.
I watched him in the TV series for Wet Hot American Summer that was Netflix, and he still looks the same that he did in Clueless.
You know who
and also Friends.
Yeah, no, it's true. You know who did change though somewhat was John Cusack, because I actually have a tote bag with John Cusack on it, like posing, like laying down, like on his side, like leaning on his elbow, like, hey there, pretty lady. And like I have that because I used to be so in love with John Cusack, and you know, he doesn't look
what
the
happened?
same. Oh, well, I haven't seen him in a long time. What's he doing? What's he up to?
What's
John Cusack doing? I love you, John Cusack. What are you doing? I don't know.
What?
I still love him. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I do think he looks like a grown-up now. Whereas, like, I think Rob Lowe and Paul Rudd to some degree still look really young.
Very dreamy.
You know who increased the dreaminess, and this, like, I loved her when I was young, but she doesn't stop, is Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Gillian
That's
Anderson
true.
just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
That she transcends like young heartthrob to forever permanent life heartthrob.
I think you could kind of make the same case for Lucy Lawless.
Oh, absolutely. Did you watch any of the Ash versus the Army of Darkness, the new show?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a new season happening now. I'm a season behind, I think, but they did a new like Army of Darkness show, and she's on it. So you've got Bruce Campbell and Lucy Lawless, who have shared the same space before. That has happened, but like both of them, Bruce Campbell, he's looking pretty good for his age. Lucy Lawless still looks flawless. Boom.
That rhymes.
TM.
TM. I was gonna say Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Because I bet when
For sure.
Friends first came out, when it was young Jennifer Aniston, I bet there were a lot of teens that were like, wow, she's so beautiful. And look at her now. She looks like pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Now, you know who, somebody else who's transcended the teen heartthrob years, like, so I feel like your generation, Rileigh, is super into Drake.
Are they?
Aren't they? Drake is
these
like
are
super
questions.
popular, isn't he?
Yes, I think he is.
I am aware of this. Like, I'm right here. Okay, Rileigh, you're gonna take my
I've never
word for
listened to Drake before, but I believe you.
it. Okay.
I work with a lot of 20-year-olds that like Drake.
Drake is super popular, and his music is, I mean, you should check it out.
Okay.
Okay, it's
Okay.
good. You should trust me on this. You should check it out. But that being said, he was a teen heartthrob on Degrassi as well when he was Jimmy the basketball player.
That's true.
Tragically shot, but pulled through. Thank goodness.
Like when Justin Bieber came over the radio and you asked me if it was Drake, and then you wondered if he ever recovered from his accident.
No, I didn't do that.
You did.
I
have
didn't
it on
confuse
video.
Justin Bieber and Drake.
I have it on video.
That I've never. There's no way I've ever confused Justin Bieber and Drake.
Maybe it wasn't Justin Bieber, but it was some other like teen singer. That was nothing like Drake. And Sydney was like, "Is this Drake?" I have it on. I have this on video.
I'm better now. I'm better educated now. I know my Drake.
The one
Or
thing
my Jimmy. He's Jimmy to me.
The one thing I will say has probably changed a lot since you all were teens and I am a teen now is selection of teen heartthrobs, if you will, and the fact that all teens probably don't have the same heartthrob at any one point in time, just because I feel like there are so many like internet celebrities that are like, I mean, even on YouTube alone, like not even like podcasts or like TV shows or streaming services TV shows. I mean, I'm serious. Like, all these
are you
different...
proposing yourself as a teen heartthrob?
Yeah, I think I'm a teen heartthrob. No, but
Rileigh, you're my teen heartthrob.
thanks. But I mean, even on YouTube alone, there's so many different people on there. Like any 10 people could have 10 totally different like idols that they either want to be or they are in love with and they want to marry, and you would have no idea who the other one is and like wouldn't have ever heard of them before, but to the other person it's like their idol.
That's a really interesting point, because like you think back to the time where like everyone had that same Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall poster on their wall, or you know, that same poster of Leo, like it, you know, I mean, I did. It was really like everyone kind of had the hots for those same heartthrobs.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, everybody has a Kelly Kapowski stand up in their bedroom.
Right.
But now there aren't like, not everybody's watching the same TV show, and certainly not at the same time. And you don't have magazines like Tiger Beat and Teen Beat and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely
I mean, you do. I'm sure those still exist, but
right.
I don't think you guys are reading them like we did.
No, I'll say that like when I was probably a preteen, like 11 or 12 years old, like 5th grade, everyone had the same teen heartthrobs. It was like everyone was watching Zack and Cody, and everyone loved the Jonas Brothers, and Camp Rock had just come out, and High School Musical, and we were all in love with Zac Efron, and we had those same posters out of Tiger Beat and 17 magazine, and it was like those were the people we were in love with. But now it's like, I'd say even kids that are younger than me that would have been going through that time that I was going through where everyone had the same teen heartthrobs, I'd say they don't, and that no really generation does anymore, just because everything is so widespread and there's so many options. I don't think it's possible for everyone to have the same idol or teen heartthrob, just because, I don't know, I mean, there are people that I probably think of as super famous that I would die if I met them, that people at my school would be like, I have no idea who that is.
Well, and you would also hope that that opens the door for like roles in TV and movies to like have more multi-dimensional characters that are celebrating more things about themselves other than just whatever their physical appearance is.
Yeah.
You know, so that you're not centering a movie around the plot of like, look how attractive this person is, but like, look how funny they are, look how smart they are, look how skilled or talented or whatever. And so that's why you're attracted to them. That's why you want to watch and listen and read about them and all that kind of stuff, is because you're drawn to that as opposed to just the way their hair swoops in their eyes.
Right.
Well, I think that's one of the things, like when we look back at these lists that people have of like, you know, the dreamy teens of our generation, they're all kind of like, it would be hard to put them in a deck of cards and not see them all as like the same haircut, the same kind of style, like very much like, and that seems very much like we were being sold an ideal of what, you know, this is a dreamy teen for the 90s. This is what they look like. Like, maybe now that's a bit less of the way it works. Like, there's not a type that is, which is good, which is, I think, positive, that there's not a type that is held up as like, this is what the ideal is.
Yeah. And I think as a result, you get a lot more younger people making careers in media and stuff, because it's like, you don't have the one celebrity who your movie will be great if you have this one celebrity in it because all the teens love this person.
Right.
Like, you have so many other types of characters and types of roles that need to be filled, that there are so many other people that could fill any specific part. And because you don't have that ideal teen like Taylor was talking about, you can just put so many different actors in there, and as a result you get so many like new celebrities.
Right. I think that's a really good point. I referenced earlier that I think that Saved by the Bell and like Zach Morris is from the era where there was that kind of quote unquote all-American kid that, you know, and now there's more of a recognition that there is no one thing that looks like an all-American kid, boy or girl. Like, that all-American means, you know, a million different things. And so there isn't one way to be the heartthrob. Yeah.
And there's your message for today. There's no one way to be the heartthrob. And also, Rileigh Smirl is your resident podcast teen heartthrob.
So there you go. If you need a teen heartthrob, why not Rileigh? She is a teen.
Probably the only teenaged podcaster to be the subject of your heartthrobiness.
You've cornered the market, huh?
I have.
Podcasting heartthrobs. I think there's, I don't know.
It's Rileigh Smirl, and when you have some free time, go look up some pictures of young Steve Buscemi. So there's your marching orders.
or young Balto, whatever.
Or young Balto.
young Balto was a fox. Actually, he's part of a wolf. Or C-3PO.
Or fox from Robin Hood.
None of mine are conventional.
I'm telling you.
That was a human. Rufio.
Nope, you want to fall in love, you watch that scene from She's Out of Control. Although I'm a grown up now, so that's probably weird now. Like that, not now, but like, you know, when you're a teen.
Right. Or just listen to Jesse McCartney's beautiful song.
Yeah, that's the weird part for me. It's like I watched Riverdale and I was like, oh, you know, I like that guy Cole Sprouse, he's cute. It's like, oh my god, this kid is like 12 or something. He's so young. I've seen this kid in like Adam Sandler movies. This is strange for me.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Cole Sprouse, he was Ross's son on Friends.
Yep. I didn't know that.
Yep.
We're very old.
Now I feel even older.
Yep. Very old.
Well, thank you, sisters. This has been fun. I hope, listeners, that this has inspired you to revisit your teen heartthrobs and then feel odd about all of the cartoon animals you may have been attracted to. And then don't feel so odd because we already told you we were too. So,
well, 2 of the 3 of us.
Okay, well, 2 of us are. So, so you're in good company. And it's all okay. Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you like our podcast, you should tweet at us at stillbuff. You can email us at stillbuffering@maximumfun.org. If you like this show, I bet you'd like other shows on the Maximum Fun Network. So you should go there to MaximumFun.org and check out a lot of other wonderful podcasts. And thank you to the Novellas for our theme song, Baby Change Your Mind.
This has been Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Rileigh Smirl.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
And I'm Taylor Smirl.
I am a teenager.
And I was 2.
I'm Barbara Gray.
I'm Brandy Posey.
And I'm Tess Barker.
We're Lady to Lady. Do you want to sleep over in your ears?
Is that a friend in your pocket, or are you just podcast to see me?
We're a portable hangout you can bring to the gym, on the subway, or on an oil rig.
Seriously, we have listeners who do that.
Chill with us while we get high with Margaret Cho.
Talk showgirls with Katya from Drag Race.
And hear Broadway star Anthony Rapp sing Hamilton.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
That's Lady to Lady.
Can you keep a secret?
Neither can we.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.